So what is hardware, what is software, and what is firmware? We hear those words in dealing with computers. And so hardware is pretty much anything that you can put your hands on. It's the stuff that's actually physical, that physically exists. The software deals more with the state of the data that runs that. So it's more of a state that the hardware is in. If you have a hard drive, for example, and it has software on it, the actual hard drive is hardware. But the way the ones and zeros that are actually on that disk are set up, that is software. Now, firmware is a software that is more embedded into the hardware. So something that's used for like controlling routers, a lot of times that's a firmware in there. They've flashed in some program onto a chip. So it's not really something that you're just going to be able to work with the same way you work with files on your operating system and all that. It's flashed in and it runs the hardware. It's for the hardware. It's in the hardware. It's software that runs the hardware. But it's not just drivers. You know, it goes beyond. Drivers are software that are designed to run the hardware in your operating system, in your version of Windows or Linux or Apple, whatever that be. But once you get into firmware, then that's more, I mean, it can contain drivers, but it's more in the chips of the item. A lot of times firmware, it shouldn't be on ROM, but it could be, because a lot of times they like to update it, but it could technically also be on a ROM chip as well. But it's that built-in, or you know, it's a software that's built right into the hardware to help run it. It's the best way to describe firmware that I can think of. Thank you for watching.